Hello guys, it's Luke from the Free Hammers here. Welcome to All the Gear, No Idea, the show that I do on weekends where you control the topics, you control the questions, and you control where the show goes. I've got the computer, I've got the internet. If you've not subscribed to it already, please do. But let's get on with the show. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers. We did a podcast the other day. This is going to count as a sort of a preview to the Chelsea game as well. And then we'll do another podcast probably after the Chelsea game, probably Thursday. Welcome back. This is the show, as I say, where you suggest the topics and we discuss along in the live chat. I will be using a lot of this show for the Chelsea preview and talking about some of the news. I think I'll start with the news at the minute that I've read this morning. It's nothing major, but I just thought it was quite funny. Lee was the one who sent it to me this morning. Whether you know Lee or not from the channel, it was this. So basically, Abdul Fornals has decided, and nice to finally hear the first team are thinking this, we must fight for our Premier League dream. I'm glad they're finally thinking about that with 7 games to go, because us West Ham fans have been seeing this for a few months now, that we need to start fighting for our lives. A bit tongue-in-cheek, guys. I know, obviously, Pablo Fornals is one of the ones that actually is been working really hard this year. But I just thought it was quite funny that they've come out and decided that it's time to fight now. Anyway, let's go in the comments. There was a few comments before I actually went live, actually. So Lewis, I don't know whether you're watching Lewis or not now, but if you are, hello. Morning, lads. With our impending relegation, who do you think who will stay as opposed to leave? Also, would you take back Tevez for a season after he said he would come back for a final sponsor? If we were relegated, and this Carlos Tevez rumour about coming back, and he said he would actually donate most of his wages to charity as well. In the Championship, all day long, you'd have Carlos Tevez back, wouldn't you? And you imagine him in the Championship, even at 36, he would still be a sensational player for us down there. So, in the Championship, yes. In the Premier League, I think I'd be a bit sceptical in terms of bringing Tevez back. But if he was willing to come back and we was in the Championship, then yeah, by all means. In terms of who will go, mate, or who will stay, sorry, you've said there, as opposed to leave. Who will stay? Mark Noble will stay. He could probably be quite an asset in the Championship. You would expect Fredericks to stay. Balbuena to stay, I would think. Fabianski potentially. Cresswell, I don't think any Premier League club would pick him up apart from maybe promoted teams. Souček would go. Haller would go. I assume you'd be playing someone like Hugh Gill, Xande Silva, someone like that up front. Would Antonio stay? I don't know. Palace have always sniffed around him, and they might see a chance to get him on the cheap. But yeah, be very interesting to see what happens if we were to go down, mate. With Haller now out of Chelsea, X on Twitter, is it time to give Antonio a rest and play Silva, who is unbeknown to be the opposition, and see what he can do? I'm not against Xande Silva playing if that is true about Haller not being fit. With Antonio, I think the best thing to do with him is to start him and take him off if he gets tired. In terms of rest and stuff like that, it's 7 games and he's got to get through them. If he can stay fit, good. I don't want him to burn out. So, yeah, there is an argument for a rest as well. But I think if he's fit, he needs to play every game that he can because he's so important and he has got a goal in him. I'm also not against the idea of Yarmolenko playing up front as well. I think he could hold the ball up as a target man. He's got a lovely left foot on him. He hasn't got any pace, but I think he's clever enough of a player to be able to hold the ball up and lay it off, like sort of what Haller would do. Time to believe. Surely we can get 3 wins for the remaining games. What do you think? It's going to be tough, Gary, mate. From what I've seen so far since the restart, nothing really. We can sit and defend for 45 minutes and then we just don't offer anything. We don't go for games. When we do go 1-0 down, we just completely capitulate. My only hope is I'd like to see what happens if we went 1-0 up at some point, whether, you know, that would change sort of our mentality a little bit and give us like a little bit, oh, this is something to hold on for here, or we're going to go for some more goals. But at the minute, Gary, not for me at the minute in terms of whether we will stay up or not. So yeah, it is Chelsea, guys. Like I said, it's going to act as a little bit of a Chelsea preview for you guys. So let's start with, bear with me. Let's start with the last time we played these guys. So the last time we played them, guys, we won, didn't we? Bear with me. Yep, last time we played them on the 30th of November, we won 1-0. I'm going to make that full screen for you guys. Yep, we won 1-0. A good win, very good win for us. That was Aaron Cresswell and the amazing moment of Martin in goal for us, which is just an excellent day. They had a very strong side out as well. They didn't take it lightly, that game at all. So yeah, good win for us, that. But this is a different time, and we're lacking a lot of confidence. Last time we played at the London Stadium against Chelsea, which was last year. Can you still see that, guys? Yep, you can. It was 0-0. Again, another good result. You know, they had Eden hasn't played that day, Willian and all that. So again, another good result. And I think the last time before that was when Eden had scored that absolute worldie against us. In terms of Premier League table, guys, Chelsea are doing really, really well. They're currently sitting in fourth with 16 wins, 6 draws, 9 losses, 55 goals, 41 against, with a goal difference of plus 14. And their points are 54. They're currently undefeated in their last 5. It may even be more than that. That's just the most recent form, last 5 games. And obviously, on this next page, guys, it shows you a bit more about what they've been doing. Obviously, they've got Leicester today. They beat Man City in the last game, which obviously give Liverpool the title. They picked up an important win in terms of us, in terms of the battle for survival in beating Aston Villa. And yeah, that's all they've played so far. Like I say, they do play today against Leicester in the FA Cup, so maybe their eyes are on that. But listen, they're still going for that top 4, and Frank will want that as well. So listen, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game at all. I was going to go through a couple of other things, guys, with you that I found before I jump in the comments. So they usually line up like this, with Kepa in goal, Azpilicueta at left, Tomori, good young player, Kurt Zouma, Reece James, Jorginho playing in at that CDM role, Kovacic, good player, Kante, will that be the man who Rice replaces next season? Mason Mount, Abraham, and Pulisic has just been fantastic this season. So when they're in a defensive setup, guys, in their own half, Lampard uses the 4-4-3 to progress the ball further up. Jorginho being deployed as a registrar, a deep line playmaker, and Kante and Kovacic giving him options of short passes, but also the front three providing options for the long ball. In terms of the middle of the pitch, guys, when they're in the sort of middle area, the tactics change and the formation shifts to a 2-4-1-3. Kante joins Jorginho in the midfield role, the fullbacks going up to provide support in midfield, and a front three having one midfield at the base to keep the ball flowing. When they're attacking, guys, obviously you know all this, but when attacking, stance shapes into a 2-2-5-1. Fullbacks become wingers, centre-backs advance, having Jorginho and Kante in the centre always to alert to pass and cover. The front three cover each other. Mason Mount acting as a second striker. And finally, guys, just not that we're going to get anywhere near the defensive line. Once a player in Mourinho's Chelsea, Frank, under whom he developed a lot, Lampard likes to set the team up with a 4-5-1 compact shape, ready to burst at any time on a counter with speed as soon as the ball gets to their feet. And there you go, guys. That's a little rundown tactically of what Chelsea and the way they transition play. it's going to be difficult, guys. Let's not get away from it. This is a tough game. For the lockdown, when we had a few players fit, and if we would have had fans in there, I would have said to you, it's anybody's game, because we're always up for it against Chelsea, especially against Frank Lampard. So, but now the mentality is so wrong. It's just the things that people have been coming out with, like Mark Noble last week with the, we're going to lose games, and I think David Moyes said, there's more winnable games, and these games that we expect to lose, and it's that attitude that I think it's hard to switch that on and off, and that's the problem for me. Let's go back in the comments. Thanks, guys, for all the comments. Really appreciate that for all of you that are watching. Thomas says, is there any part of you that thinks we'll pull a West Ham and turn Chelsea over 1-0 against the odds? No. I don't, mate. I'd love to see it, and I really hope I'm proved wrong, as we all have been over the years when we played, one of the big clubs with due one of them results. We've had that result. We beat them at Stamford Bridge, so that result is not there. If you're looking, and we've beat Manchester United already as well, so, and we've got to play them. So we're not. I always say, as a West Ham fan, we're due one. We're not due one, because we've done it already. We beat Manchester United. We beat Chelsea already. So for me, the big teams are not games we're going to turn around. Ray says, hey peeps, and Thomas exchanges back. Why does this manager trust Anderson and Lanzini, who stroll around a pitch, but he can't trust youth players who might actually be willing to give their all, like Sande Silva and Ben Johnson? Yeah, you've only got to look back, guys, to the Trevor Brooking, when he nearly saved us. Glenn Johnson came through that year at right back, didn't he? And he was nearly a saving grace for us as well at the time. Jermaine Defoe as well was in there, young players. With young players, you're guaranteed legs. That's an energy. And I think that's what we need a little bit. Sometimes these young players can be a driving force for these older players that are out of form and maybe not as fearless as what they are. They know what's at stake a little bit more with these young players. They come in, they're fearless, unknown, as someone mentioned earlier in the chat. So, yeah, why not, mate? In terms of Anderson and Lanzini, Anderson, listen, if he performs like that again, to be honest, I don't want him to play for the rest of the season now, but if he was to perform like that again, there's no point in picking him, because it's just, he's not going to give the fight. Lanzini, the only thing I do give to him is that injury was horrific. Cruciate ligament is one of the worst injuries. Probably the Achilles footballer can get. That's no excuse in terms of Moyes picking him. We can all see he's not there, so let's not pick him anymore. Let's keep him out of the team. Put Jack Wilshere in, but bring Jack in. At the end of the day, Jack will probably go if we went down anyway. So why not use him if he got injured in the first 10 minutes? Oh, well, but at least put him on and see if he can do anything different, because at the moment, the tried and tested is not working. We won the game because they played Giroud. They targeted Roberto because they thought he would play. If they played Michi on the day, they would have won. Yeah, we can all say that in hindsight, but, Martin had a great game. Cresswell did score a great goal in that game as well. In hindsight, yeah, maybe they were setting up for Roberto, and Greeny threw the spanner with Martin at the time. But listen, it was a great day. Us letting 4 strikers go and only bringing in 1. I'm coming home to roost goals. Paid the rent the last time we did the double over Chelsea, and we were relegated in 2003. Yeah, was that when Paolo scored the absolute worldie? Was it that season? Was that the season he scored that absolute worldie where he flicked it up and did about 20 kick-ups and then put it in the top corner? Sufyan says, off subject, do you think Wolves can get top 4? Yes. They're a fantastic football team. Something that is ridiculous. If you would have said 5 years ago, West Ham should be aspiring to Wolves, I would have said, really? Listen, I knew Wolves had a bit of money, and that they was potentially going to become a bit of a force at some point. But it's how quickly they've done it, and it just shows if you've got a 5-year plan, good owners, good scouts set up, good contacts in the game and scouts. The players they've scouted, fantastic. And listen, if Wolves do get top 4, well done to them. That is just shows what you can do as a football team if you get the right fits, you've got the good owners, you've got the good manager, and you give the manager the players that he wants. No reason why they can't get it. And even if they don't get top 4, I think they've got a very good chance of winning Europa League as well. So they've got, they're fighting on 2 fronts for the Champions League, mate. So yeah, great team. I do enjoy watching Wolves as well. I wouldn't be against Dyche as manager, but I'd love Stevie G. We need to start going for young and hungry managers, not old and has been. Yeah, had a little chat about that on the podcast. Dyche, I don't mind him. He's a bit Allardyce Mark III. Allardyce Mark II is obviously David Moyes. But negative manager. They're hard work in these teams, which is one thing I do like. But Stevie G. Stevie G was one I was wanted before Moyes was reappointed. I thought, Stevie would be a good one. Hungry, like you say. He's seen what Frank's been doing. He will have the contacts at Liverpool. A bit like how Frank had with Derby and Chelsea when Mount and Tomori were both at Derby last year. So, Stevie G I would definitely take. Whether he'd come is another story, mate. I'm not against Scott Parker either. Obviously, West Ham affiliation. He's doing very well with Fulham. I think Fulham are sitting 3rd. And if he gets them up through the playoff, or even if he doesn't, if he finished 3rd and he just misses out by the playoff, he's a wanted commodity. He's proved that he can do some stuff. So I won't be against that. I'm not even against the Lee Bowyer thing, to be honest with you. Passion, new ideas, hungry. So there are some good young managers out there. And we said it on the podcast that I don't want him back, Pardew, but you need to find that new Pardew, that new dynamic. When we appointed Pardew, when we went down first time in 2003, Pardew was new, he was fresh. The players could relate to him. And that is what we need, mate, not these constant dinosaurs. I think Rice is going to Chelsea. We don't deserve him. Yeah, and listen, mate, he don't deserve us anymore. He don't deserve the crap players that are playing with him. Every game he plays at the minute is, at least a 9 out of 10. He was magnificent against Tottenham. It's ridiculous that your central defensive midfielder is your most attacking threat. No, I won't be against him going at all. I'll be gutted if he does go, but you can't hold the guy back. He's not one we can use. He's not one that's not tried. He's not one that he's not caring. He definitely he gets West Ham, and I think if we were a better run football club, I'm thinking let's say we could swap with a Leicester or even a Wolves, right? So if we had the same sort of management structure as Leicester and Wolves and the setup and the manager, Declan Rice would stay, probably for a few years because we'd have a midfield that's backed. Can you imagine if Rice was at Leicester with Maddison, Tielemans and Ndidi? It worked, At Wolves, he could definitely fit into that midfield and he wouldn't feel like he has to move because he's got a chance to play in Europe. And I've always wanted West Ham to challenge for the top 6, top 4. I'm not saying finish there, but by the time it gets to this point in the season every year, I want West Ham to be in a position where they can say, we're challenging. Even if we finished 8th every year, but right up to like the last 5 games, we were still challenging. That is progression for us. That is the sort of levels we need to get at. But, if we go down, that's another 5-year project and nothing's going to change whilst these guys are still owning the club, guys. 5 at the back. Now Oggy back. Noble, Souček and Rice in midfield. Going to be fullbacks to the game. I can see it. Chelsea don't deserve him. They do bend their class T building something. But yeah, I'll tell you what, on that as well, just to follow on a little bit more on Chelsea. Timo Werner, fantastic signing. Get him in your dream team next year, guys. The Ajax guy, Ziyech or Ziyech, however you pronounce it, technically magnificent player. And also, obviously, they're linked with Kai Havertz as well. So they're building something there, Chelsea. And I think Rice might want to be a part of it as well. Mark Noble's completely finished. I love him, but he's too slow to react, too slow in general. Look at the chance he missed against Spurs. Noble 10 years ago would have smashed it bottom corner. Yeah, he his legs are gone now completely. I think next season, whether we're in the Premier or the Championship, will be his farewell season. I don't think he's got much left to offer us anymore. He's played a lot of football as well. You've got to think he hasn't had many injuries throughout his career. He's never been the fastest player anyway. I think it's really starting to show now. If he had a FIFA card, his pace would probably be 27. And I think, he's just, I don't know whether he's a little bit demotivated now in terms of it. I don't know, but I hate Chelsea. Morning, why are we so rubbish? Because we've got owners that have not sorted us out. The ball dictate the players. We're using a first team with weak managers. They won't let youth play. I've been wondering for years, metal in both legs. I can't see us beating Chelsea. I think we'll lose 2-0 like we always do. It'll be a carbon copy of the other games. He sets up the same way. We stay in the game and then it's too late. Yeah. Substitutions, we lose the game. Morning, Gio, Charlie, Gonzo, whoever it is. Good morning. Nice to see you in the chat, guys. Noble should be our cup captain. He could do that for another 2 seasons. Gio. Hello, Gio. It's hard to see us getting anything from the Chelsea game as we've only had about 35% possession. Listen, I've been trying to get a bet and they won't offer me odds for it. Ladbrokes and Sky Bet just a little, they call it a Hollywood bet, where West Ham not to score a goal for the rest of the season, and they won't offer me odds for it, and I was a bit disappointed. I know my mate has put a bet on West Ham to not win, to lose every game between now and the end of the season was 200 to 1. And another one he put on West Ham not to win. So there could be draws, and that was 33 to 1. So let's hope that don't come in for him. But if it does come in for him, he's due a lot of money. Yes, it was a look. Sorry, yes, it was. Look, that goal, don't get credit it deserves, in my opinion. Morning, Gio. Morning, all. Our fans won't accept Dyche. Look at the way we treated Allardyce. We booed him. I would go for Scott Parker because I know if we get Dyche, it won't end well due to fans. Yeah, I think again it's that negative. I like the work ethic of Burnley's team, and he's very like that sort of manager. And like good season, bad season, typical West Ham sort of manager, really. But yeah, I'm definitely going for Scott Parker. I like the Steven Gerrard thing as well. I don't think he would come to us, to be honest. I think Gerrard will, he'll wait for the right club before he does make that move. And West Ham are certainly not the right club in terms of if you want to, if he's going to be compared to Frank, which he probably will if he does take a job on, it certainly won't be going to someone like West Ham. I disagree about Dyche. He gets the best out of what he's got. I like to see what he would do with a bit more money, which he hasn't had at Burnley. But Eddie Howe, guys, where do you guys stand on that in the chat on Eddie Howe? If we lose our next two games, do they roll the dice and get rid of Moyes and let Nolan and Noble as player and assistant finish off the season? Can't be any worse. Listen, if we're going to go down, it can't be any worse than what Moyes is doing. I would have sacked Moyes on Tuesday. They won't though. And they'll probably use this excuses at the end of the season. If we do go down, it'll be, Pellegrini's team, Roberto, Hasilios. They'll throw that to protect Moyes. But for me, he would have gone by now. I wouldn't have Pardew back, but he was great as our manager. I remember the fans at the time feeling that the players were to blame for getting him sacked. He had huge support from the fans. Yeah, I liked Pardew. the time. Obviously, there were the off-the-field stuff, and apparently he was a very, very arrogant man. But I think that season, that first season back in the Premier League, when we got to the FA Cup final, we held the record. I think it was only Manchester United potentially for most comebacks from 1-0 down. And one of Pardew's famous lines in every press conference at the time or post-match interview was character. We've got character, and we certainly did back then. We had some fantastic players, Yossi Benayoun, Dean Ashton, etc. So, we had a great team then, Everton, Sheringham. So it was a good team, to be fair to him as well. Postecoglou, I don't think I pronounced it that right, led Yokoyama to champions last season after second season in charge, high pressing, super attacking. The only players who would last in his squad are Rice and Bowen. There are some positives from Moyes since he came back. I think the January signings were great. No, yeah, I'll hold my hands up. Bowen and Souček signing were good signings. Dyche's strong character we need right now. Nice to see the conflicting views, guys. Some of you are for and against it. They have also been linked to David Alaba and Alphonso Davies from Bayern. Yeah, great players as well. So they're not messing around, Chelsea. They're really not. By the way, Noble has 41 place on FIFA this year. He'll be 27 next year. It's always Gio. Petition for Gio to become the Prime Minister. He will immediately give Scotland independence. I don't rate Eddie Howe. I don't think he can manage a big club. Yeah, with Eddie Howe, the reason I just asked that question is just it's a manager I know will be out of work at the end of the season. With Eddie, he gives me the Alan Kirbishley vibe. I've always said that he can only manage one club like Alan did at Charlton. Came to West Ham, he didn't do too bad a job at West Ham, to be honest, Kirbishley, and he quit rather than got sacked, didn't he? Because he wasn't backed. But yeah, that's the vibe that Eddie Howe gives me. Well, we aren't a big club, but we are compared to Bournemouth. I meant the Di Canio goal at Chelsea doesn't get credit. No, mate, it's an unbelievable goal. It's incredible goal. Definitely in my top, I might not say top 5, but definitely top 10 West Ham goals I've ever seen. And I was actually there when he scored it as well. Unbelievable. And then I was there the year before, I think it was, when we lost 5-1 and he got sent off. And that was one of the worst experiences of an away match. Like, your favourite player has been sent off and we've just been banged 5-1 as well. I would take how he would bring the team together. Gio says, January signings have been good, but he only played Bowen in his best position. Yes, mate, I did see your video on that when you were saying he was playing him on more of the wing of midfield, rather the sides of midfield than in terms of his actual winger position. And he does become very exposed out there, mate. I totally agreed with everything you said in that video. I know few agreed, but I would love Di Canio as an ex-manager. Di Canio's got a place at the club, but not as manager. I don't think he would ever work as a coach or as an ambassador. I think he'd want the manager's job, but he definitely has a role at the club somewhere, purely because of who he is and the legendary status he is. What that role is, I don't know. And whether it actually anything to do with actual team selection or team development is beyond me, but maybe just that for the fans, I don't know, someone to look at and worship. I don't know. Agree with you. People shouldn't write off Eddie Howe just because he's struggling at the moment. Things haven't been right between him and the club for a while now. I still think he would do a good job for us. Can you imagine the passion that Di Canio would restore the club? He certainly wouldn't take any crap, would he? He demands the highest level from everyone. And I think that is the problem, in this prima donna world of football of, you can't say that to me. Oh, I'm so hurt. I sound like Ricky Gervais then. He's not the right man for the way footballers are now, sadly. Bowen is our best player apart from Rice. Love him, especially because he's a flair player. Good at dribbling. He does track back and will go in for a tackle, not like the full Felipe. Yeah, got to give it. Bowen's work rate is amazing. He he worked his absolute socks off in that Tottenham game. He was the only one when he, apart from Rice, like you say, when he got on the ball, you know, you felt a little bit of excitement in a very unexciting West Ham performance. You know, he got the ball, he picked it up, he looked to drive, he looked for the little 1-2s with Funnels. He was linking up quite well in the beginning. But no, it just, you know, we're clutching at straws to find something to be positive about at the moment, and it's very, very hard. I just want to see something. I want to see a goal that potentially we can try and hold on to. Just going for the games, not this setting up not to lose. I've never been a fan of setting up to not lose. I think it always leads to bad situations where when you do go 1-0 down, it just completely throws everything out the window and the players don't know what to do, especially when they say, for example, like we've been doing, we've worked so hard for 45 minutes and then within sort of 10 minutes of the restart, goal will go in and it just completely destroys their confidence and what they've believed in. So, yeah. Di Canio is a bad manager, almost got Sunderland relegated, but he did save them as well, mate. Do you think that some of the big players are more worried about getting injured because they want that? It's a good point, Gary. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I think someone like Felipe Anderson will be one of the first one out the door. It wouldn't surprise me. Haller as well was one of the first ones out the door as well. I know he's injured at the minute, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's one of the ones out the door as well. Yeah, I think you've got a valid point there, mate. You know, they sort of see it as we're not going to give our all. We'll probably be down. I'm not going to take a pay cut, so I can't risk the injury and be stuck in the Championship. I honestly do not think we'll get relegated simply because of Aston Villa, Bournemouth are not picking up points as well. That's the only saving grace for me. That's the only glimmer that I can see. You know, I tried to watch all the games that affected us. Obviously, I watched the Wolves game yesterday. Great goal from Dendoncker as well, a player that we should have picked up a few years ago. Yeah, I think there are teams that are just as bad as us. I'm not going to say worse than us because we are really bad at the minute. But would you guys have faith that you guys that are watching in the chat live now or anyone that watches this back as a replay, do you really have faith that, and this is, I really do think it is going to go down to that last game, that Aston Villa game. Do you really believe that West Ham have got the minerals to win that game if it was a must-win game to stay up? For me personally, no. I think Jack Grealish will just, you know, pull them through that game to make sure they stay up, knowing that he could leave the club with his head held high. Where with West Ham, I don't see a hero to do that for us in that last game if that is the case. We could really use Snoddy's work rate, intensity, deliveries right now. We need battlers to avoid the drop, not show punish like Anderson. Yeah, love or hate Snoddy, you know, he would give us work rate, like you say, with quality deliveries from the corners, etc. He was scoring a few goals this year as well, wasn't he? And, you know, chipping in a few goals. Listen, he's slow. He's another slow one, but at the moment we just need work rate, stuff like work rate, a little bit of quality, and maybe, yeah, if Snoddy was fit, he could have offered us that. Is Haller fit for Chelsea? According to a comment earlier on, right at the beginning of the chat, it did say that X has said he's not fit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if Gio's still in the chat, maybe he knows a bit more. Sufyan, apparently he won't be available according to X. I can't imagine Anderson on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke. I think Villa can turn us over. They definitely can turn us over, mate. I have no faith. I think we beat Villa if the stupid manager goes for the game. If it does go down to the Villa game and we lose, how lucky are the owners knowing there will be no fans in the stadium? Who knows whether there'll be like a big mass outside the stadium, guys. Who knows? It could be. Not condoning that. Players are too lazy, won't press the ball, no movement off the ball, recipe for disaster. Honestly, mate, I watch quite a lot of football, and I think West Ham are one of the only teams that don't press. And when you do see us press in maybe 4 games a year, we get good results. like you say, we're lazy. We react to danger rather than anticipating it and spotting the danger early. We react to danger, which means we're always on a back foot. We're always up against it because the players have not got the awareness. The only one who sort of got that a bit is Rice. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Ben. Not fit, but surprisingly already declared fit for Newcastle. Heard if he played before 1st of July, Sully would have to pay him extra money. Moyes throwing Chelsea saving. It's a joke. It is a joke. If that is true, I've heard that rumour as well, Ian. If that is true, it's an absolute joke. It just shows the tightness of the man. Who cares if you have to pay him more? Who cares? If it's $1 million, $2 million, I don't know what it is. It might not even be that amount of money. Who cares? The point is, we need him. Haller not fit for the Premier League. Sufyan says, if we lose to Aston Villa and we go down, I'm going over to that stadium with a pitfall. We should all go over there and stand in the road and stop them from getting into the ground for the Villa game. What sums up David Moyes for me is that we let him go, and in that time, not one club came in for him until we were in trouble. Yeah, not one club, not a League One club, not a Championship club. He couldn't even get like one of those jobs in China where they pay him like £1 million a week, like for the old has-beens over there, the retirement homes. It says a lot. It does say a lot. And maybe as well, did Alan Irvine come over? I can't remember whether Alan Irvine came with him or not. Irvine, I think, maybe was a bit more the brains behind it than Moyes himself. That shows they care more about money than football. Yeah, I don't think they care anymore, to be honest with you guys. Golden, Sullivan, and Brady, I don't think they give two ifs about what we think as a club anymore. They're just trying to, keep as quiet as they can, upset people from a distance, and then see what happens, And if we do start, probably you'll get him doing an interview again, saying about how great a job David Moyes has done. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes, guys. Is that okay? Also, Moyes took Sunderland down. They were staying up by the skin of their teeth for years like us, and they went down eventually. Yep. And then if you've seen that documentary, the one on Netflix about Sunderland, I have lots of fears about us becoming like that, and I hope that's not the case. Can you imagine if we go down, how much abuse every home game the ball will get? Oh, mate, it'll be absolutely toxic, that stadium. Absolutely toxic. If we were to, if we started the season quite badly as well, and we weren't up in them playoff spots around the Christmas time, it would just get worse and worse and worse every time we went 1-0 down. The toxicity would just get worse and worse and worse. Do you think Moyes will stay on if the team goes down, especially with next season starting soon after this one? I'd like to think he won't, mate, because I think if we go down and we start the season with him, we're in big, big trouble. He wouldn't inspire me at all to get us out of it. He's proved he can't change a game. The lack of substitution knowledge and awareness really, really scares me. And I think if we stay up and we keep him, it's even worse. I think it's just going to be, we'll start the season and we'll be in a relegation battle for the whole season. We won't even have that little bit at the beginning where we peak. I think we'll lose at Newcastle game 2. We don't have a good record at St James Park. No, we don't. And they look like they're flying a little bit as well. People like St Maxim and Almiron are doing fantastic stuff for them. In your honest opinion, yes or no, are we getting relegated? Yes, we are getting relegated. I don't think we'll start. And if we do, as mentioned earlier in the chat, guys, it will be because there are 3 teams that have not picked up points. Not that we've gone on some amazing run and stayed out of it. It will be literally that we both keep losing and West Ham has picked up 2 points somewhere, or a win out of the next 2 wins out of the next 7. It won't be that we've gone on like the Great Escape where we won like 6 in a row. That will not happen this year. We haven't got players good enough. I see people complaining about the board, but keep making them concept kits and get excited over kits. More way they get money to lure us fans in. Yeah, listen, with the kits, we all get a little bit excited about the kits, and we all say, "Oh, we're not going to put no money into the club, etc." I know I'll go and get the kit purely because, as well, it's the 125th anniversary shirt. You know, one of my first kits was the 100th anniversary when I was 10, so it will be one that I'll go out and get. I get what you're saying. I understand the point you're trying to make there. Peter, Peter, I have to say you do look like Mark Noble. I get told this every single day in work. I work in a school, and the kids in schools always, you know, when you join in with the little football matches, or because I'm a PE teacher, so when you join in, oh look, it's Mr. Noble. It's Mr. Noble's coming, and all the blokes in work. And obviously, I haven't got much hair as well. I've got a hairline like Mark Noble as well. I call it tactical combing, guys, in terms of how I managed to hide the baldness. How do we go straight back up if Moyes is in charge? I can't see it. It won't happen, mate. It won't. As simple as that. I can see us winning the next 3 games. Can you? Oh, very optimistic, mate, from you. And I hope we can come on in 3 games' time and you can say to me, "Look, Luke, I told you so." But I can't see that, mate. Social distancing won't be a problem in the ground. If we go down, every team will lift their game 30% and the ground will be a massive hindrance. Villa changing their manager, bad news for us. It's the 4th anniversary. This club is dead. You do look like Noble. Wish I had his money. When are you back to work? September. I'm with the key worker kids. I've not stopped working, mate. Obviously, the school went to lockdown on the 23rd. We've been on a bit of a rota, sort of like a week on, week off. But yeah, I've not stopped working. You know, I've still been going in school. There's still children to work for. Yeah, so you know, some of the bad press that teachers have been getting, you know, is very bad. It's not really the sort of show to talk about it, but yeah, I'm totally against some of the bad publicity that teachers have been getting because they have been working really hard, especially in our school. You know, I've not seen any sign of teachers being lazy. So yeah, I think the bad press is really not needed. But that's a different show. I meant to say can't. Oh, can't. Okay, yeah. Yes, I can't see us winning. Wouldn't it be nice to have owners that actually cared about the club? Yeah, I think they did originally. Obviously, they did see the pound signs. You know, they see that Olympic Stadium move, and I think a lot of things have not gone right. You know, I think when they first come, and you know, it looked as if we was just going to inherit that season. Not season, inherit that stadium. It was literally going to be ours, not on a rent, not on a loan. And then obviously Tottenham had to stick their nose in, and Barry Earn, allegedly, just so I don't get sued. And I think that sort of hindered their plans a little bit. You know, if they would have actually had the stadium and it was theirs outright rather than this loan thing, they would have been able to do a lot more of the stuff that they wanted to do. I'm not defending them because they've done so much wrong. And I think they've lost a little bit of interest. I think they'd be happy with 17th every single year. If it meant we stayed up and they could sell us. But yeah, I agree, mate. I think we're going down. I agree. One player you could bring back from the last 20 years for a final run in the team. So 20 years takes us back to 2000. It's Paolo Di Canio, mate. There's no doubt about it. But I say that, actually. I say Di Canio. Listen, Di Canio's an amazing player. We all know that. He's my god. But I think if you could pick one single player, you know, there's names you can list, Dimitri Payet and things like that, but I don't think Dimitri Payet's got the fight if we were down there. It's Scott Parker, mate. Scott Parker, if you could replace Scott Parker with Noble now, so then you'd have Parker, Souček and Rice. You would have that box-to-box driving midfielder that's got goals, bags and bags of passion that gets other players going. So, yeah, one player from the last 20 years, Scott Parker for me. Let me know, guys, in the chat who your one would be. Remember, you can only go back to the year 2000. I was surprised Sullivan hasn't appointed himself as manager. I thought he could do everything else at the club. My dad's favourite player, your picture there, Lawrence. Let's hope the contract is watertight. About going down, we could end up with no grand. I've got to go and eat breakfast. Take care. Cheers, Sophia, mate. Take care. Remember, it's booming 20s. My guess is if we go down, the board will sack Moyes and bring in Neil Warnock, as he knows how to get a team promoted from the Championship. Calling it now. Wasn't surprised we made it. It wouldn't surprise me at all. If Warnock was one to come in, I think the fans would be absolutely outraged. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Tevez for Gary. As a West Ham fan, I used to be the press photographer covering all football leagues, and West Ham were the least club I wanted to go to. So arrogant. The club who treated me the best was Millwall. There we go. Tevez or Parker, fighters, can't choose between them. Yeah, it's one of them two for me. Didn't even mention Tevez, did I? Tevez definitely had the fight, definitely had the passion. Yeah, it'd be someone to sit in that midfield, or someone who can score goals, someone with energy. And at Millwall, they knew I was West Ham. Well, there we go. Peter Singh, the Millwall praiser. Warnock's at Borough at the moment. You know what I could see? If Newcastle got taken over, and there's all them rumours of these big managers that could be linked there, I could see us going for someone like bloody Steve Bruce. Someone like that, another dinosaur. But I give credit to Bruce this year. I do give credit to Bruce this year. I know I'm sitting here joking about it, but I give a lot of credit to Bruce this year. There's, when he first started there, he wasn't wanted there by the fans. There's always been this constant stuff with the takeover there, and he's made them play quite well there, and a lot of Newcastle fans have changed their opinion on Bruce this year. So yeah, and although I joke about it, I've got to give Brucey some praise this year, actually. Right, guys, I don't think there's much else to talk about. The only thing I didn't do was my prediction, my actual goal prediction for the Chelsea-West Ham game. I think West Ham will lose that 3-0. I think Tammy Abrahams will score. I think Mason Mount will score as well and get one over on Declan. But I expect to see the best Declan Rice performance you have seen this year in that game. It will be a massive shot window performance on Wednesday. A massive shot window performance. They have had Bruce before at Birmingham. Look, good shot. If fit Dean Ashton would be worth his weight in gold for us right now. Yeah, what a player. What a player. Trevor Sinclair as well, another one I really like. Can you see us beating Norwich in the last 7 games? Now, with the Norwich game, Lawrence, I've seen a few West Ham channels sort of touch on this, and I totally agree. If they're not relegated by the time we play them, which is very unlikely, they'll probably be relegated by them, there's a chance. If they are relegated by them, they will be in, holiday, no pressure. They can just play the way they want, because it neither here nor there what the result means by then. And that's my fear, that we play them when they're already relegated, when we've still got loads of pressure on us. You want them to have pressure. You want them to still, need a win, so that they're still a little bit nervous about taking risks and stuff like that. So, yeah. Peter, thank you very much, mate, for your comment there, mate. I do appreciate that. Your channel deserves much more subscribers. Listen, in terms of the subscribers, a lot of that is our own fault. We've been a channel for 5 years. And we had a long break at one point, a sort of a 6 months break where we fell out of love with the channel. We didn't lose any subscribers. We just didn't make any videos for a little while. And I think one of the biggest issues in terms of us is we do only usually make about 2 videos a week. We do the podcast, and now I make this on a weekend. And I think that's one of the things that maybe people don't see us enough. With the other bigger channels like West Ham Fan TV, Hammers Chat. You've got Gonzo making a video every day. So they're current, and they're very good at it as well. They're very, very good at it. West Ham Fan TV have the big fan stuff, with the interviews and stuff. So that's how they've built up that massive rapport and that massive fan base. Listen, I would love to get to about 5,000 at some point. If I could get to about 5,000 subscribers, I'd feel very comfortable and a nice, good, solid base. It will come. It's just about consistency, making videos and doing what we can. And if we go down, it's even more important to make videos because obviously the coverage won't be there as much. But yeah, I look at someone like Jay, Hammer and Talk. I always mention him on his channel. He got up to 12,000 subscribers at one point and was sitting on True Geordie's couch for the kickoff, one of the first episodes of the kickoff that True Geordie made. He was massive, but then he just disappeared. Like, please. I think the Chelsea game will be closer than many think. I think it'll be 2-1. How mad would it be if two Claret View blue teams go down? It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Absolutely crazy. And then the one who replaces us is it could be potentially two ex-West Ham managers. It could be Scott Parker with Fulham and Slaven Bilic with West Brom. 3 Hammers. What happened to the third guy who is never on anymore? The third guy, he went and worked in Belarus for a couple of years. And the last time he was on, it was about 3 months ago. But yeah, you very, very rarely see him now. Shame. And we just didn't want to change the name of the channel. I like the name of the channel. The 2 Hammers sounds a bit like the 2 Hammers. Like the 3 Hammers is just what we've always been. So it's too late to change the name now. Especially when Chelsea are looking to place Rice at the heart of their defensive midfield. 45 million is too low. Yeah, 45 million was ridiculous. I read that in a paper the other day. Absolutely ridiculous. You're starting 11 for Wednesday now that Haller isn't playing again. Okay, right. Fabianski. I quite like the idea of 5 at the back actually with wing backs. Ogbonna, Diop, Balbuena, Cresswell left wing back, and then maybe you could play Johnson at right wing back, and he won't be as exposed as playing a right back. Oh, I don't want Fredericks to play. So 5-3-2 potentially I'd play. So then you'd play Rice, Souček, Fornals, and then the 2 up top, Bowen and Antonio, or Bowen and Silva if you wanted to rest Antonio. Yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult, mate. I've just got no belief in the team at the moment. Nice, listen. Thanks, Peter. And Lawrence, last question. Oh no, there's a few more just come through like that. Would you want Dyche as our manager? Not really, but he's better than Moyes. That's the only thing I can say on that, mate. Nice to see you don't swear on your videos. Makes sense now, knowing you're a teacher. Good work, mate. Yeah, I've explained that loads of times, guys. A lot of people say, when I used to do reviews quite consistently and I used to do the match vlogs, people used to say, oh, you don't swear, you're a bit too clean. And, and I understand why Hammer and Talk was so successful because, it's hilarious. Like Arsenal Fan TV, it's hilarious to see someone effing and blinding. And listen, if I didn't work in a school, you would see the real me that watches West Ham games when the camera's off. My language is appalling. I have got to be a role model to kids and the school that I work for. This channel has no affiliation to the school, and I'm not representing the school through this channel at all. But I do have to be professional. And you don't have to swear to express anger and express happiness and express passion. I wish I could, but yeah, it wouldn't be right to. Thanks, Peter, though, for that comment. I'm glad that someone, understands that, because sometimes there was a period in the past about 3 years ago where we was accused of being a little bit too nice and a bit too, I don't want to use the word boring, but a bit too like, oh, what are you not swearing for? Why are you so calm? I don't want to swear on this channel. I don't need to swear on this channel. If we go down, the board might take 45 million for Rice. Sorry, I don't know what I sound like, Jonathan Ross there. Rice. I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah, I think if we go down, mate, 45 million will be the price, mate. I don't think you ain't getting 80 million if we go down. And you certainly, I don't think you get any more than 50 if we go down. Why don't you ask to people from other channels to join you on the odd Sunday to increase your channel? It's an idea, mate. I think the only reason I haven't asked is purely because I do it so early. I usually do it sort of 10, 11 latest usually, just because I like to be like one of the first ones out. Now I think that some people they're just sort of waking up and relaxing on a Sunday. There's not usually anything on at 11 o'clock as well. I think that's the only thing. The other thing I did do, Gary, just quickly for you, mate, just like I did do this at one point. If you wanted to join in, I did put it that, if you message me on Twitter, I'd get you on as like a TalkSport sort of call in, and we could have a chat, and you'd get like sort of 10 minutes to have a good chat. I did put that out before. I think Jamie Gill, I don't know whether Jamie Gill's watching, he's one of our sort of most loyal subscribers. He came on, he's one of the only ones that has come on as a subscriber, which is a lot of fun. No manager will want to work under this board. This is poor infrastructure. Who would want to come to the club who has no long-term? Yeah, it's right, mate. No one will want to come. Nice is good. Don would be good. I think it's dispassionate is the word you were looking for, Luke. Rice will win everything in a domestic game. Absolutely everything. I agree, mate. Definitely, he's got everything to go on. Don would depress us all even more. Right, unless something comes through in the next few minutes, I think I'll wrap it up there, guys. I've gone on 10 minutes longer than usual. Been great, guys. The chat kicking off, and I've tried to give every single comment that's come through screen time, so you get a little bit of, so I'm interacting with you, and other people can see the point I'm reacting to, and then it kicks off more in the chat. I like engaging with you guys, though, and this is the show to engage. This is not the show where we just talk. This is where it's your show. You give me ideas, I answer my opinions, and then you give me opinions to carry on and go down different angles and different routes. Thank you for all the comments, guys, in terms of the channel and in terms of what you think about the club. For now, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Try and get Paul to do a podcast with me on Thursday to go through the Chelsea game, and hopefully we're bringing you a win. I can't see it, to be honest, but hopefully I am. Until then, guys, come on, you Irons. Keep believing. Let's go. Hello guys, it's Luke from the Free Irons here. Welcome to All the Gear, No Idea, the show that I do on weekends where you control the topics, you control the questions, and you control where the show goes. I've got the computer, I've got the internet. If you've not subscribed here already, please do. But let's get on with the show. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.